Hey guys, Tim Purple here, and I wanted to tell a story about my father. Well, he was a truck driver for a lot of years, from the time I was like 18 months old until about when I turned about 21. That's before he got on dialysis. He had spent a lot of years working on 18 wheeler and everything. He was hauling steel at the time. But I remember when I was a little kid, and he would, let me ride the truck sometimes. Different one of us children ride the truck sometimes with him. And sometimes it'd be just him and my mom. As I got older, I was able to take care of like my brother or something. My brother, so my mom could, just have a break. Because my mom's taking care of a handicapped child plus two more. And, me and my younger brother, we were harder to handle than my older brothers, I feel like sometimes. But, just riding with him on the truck all them years. And my dad used to tell me that every time I used to ride a truck with him, I would say, "Where we going tomorrow, Daddy?" Elizabeth Shitty. Instead of saying city, I would say shitty. And they used to tickle my dad so good. And just, a little background info about my mom and my dad. My dad was born with a speech impairment. Yeah, he was born with, and he didn't stutter. He just couldn't say certain words like they should have been, said. And my mom, she was born, but when she was 8 years old, my grandpa was driving a horse, well, not driving, but he was doing a horse and buggy, where you're handling the horse while it's pulling the buggy and stuff. Well, my mom was 8 years old, and I think the way my grandma was telling this story, that my mom was bending down to pick up something. About that time, the wheel had caught her head, and the wheel had ran over her head, and it caused her hearing about a half percent, about 50% of her hearing, like, left. She never recovered, and as she got older, her hearing is starting to decline more. But she was a whirlwind when it comes to reading lips, because you could not sit there and say something without her reading your lips. And half the time, you'd be trying to say something, and you try to sneak it past my mom because she couldn't hear, and you forget she's reading your lips, and she will get your ass, you know what I'm saying? And my dad, my mom and dad had the most unique relationship, man. They'll get mad with each other, of course, but they just knew each other so damn well. Cause my dad was like 21 and my mom was like 18 when they got married, and they been married until he died. They had a lot of ins and outs of the relationship, like any other relationship would. But they've been together. But it was funny though, because my dad would tell my mom, "You do know that they're talking crap and stuff like that." And my mom was like, "I know, I read their daggone lips." She used to be one type of person, she'll cuss you like a sailor. And my dad would get mad because she'd be cussing at him. He'll go over there and get mad. He'll start throwing things. It was funny as heck, man. You would think it was a comedy routine or something going on in our household. And, but, it was a funny daggone, you know. But my dad, he was like a big practical joker. There was another story of my dad before I was born. My older brother was born. And he would do some of the craziest stuff. They got him in like old videos doing like practical jokes. But this time he wanted to do a practical joke on his older brother, which is my uncle. And he would he dressed up like a woman. He took one of my mama's dresses, put it on him, done the fake boobs and all that stuff. And he had gotten a wig from somebody. So my cousin, which it wasn't too far from my dad's age, because my dad was like next to the last child of 8 children. And there's a lot of them, and they're just range from ages. But he grabbed my cousin. He was gonna pretend that he was my cousin's boyfriend, my cousin's girlfriend. Went to my uncle's house, and my uncle was like having this full conversation with my dad, and my dad was, my uncle was like thinking my dad was a woman, and he went into like a full conversation, and about 15, 20 minutes later, somebody said that my dad turned around and said in his voice, "Hey," said my uncle's name, and my uncle said, "Oh shit," kissed my ass, and it said my dad's name, and my dad, they said my dad appeared dropped to the floor laughing so hard, because that was just funny as hell to his ass. And yeah, because my dad was like a big prankster. He would do some of the craziest stuff. Do the craziest stuff. And my mom used to get mad because sometimes he'd do it right in front of us. He'd do some of the craziest stuff ever. And it used to make my mom mad as hell. And get my mama mad, and my dad gets mad at her because she get mad with him. It was funny as shit. But that's what I grew up with. I grew up with the craziest damn people. And my mom, she could be funny as hell too. You get her and some other women together, they're just like funny as hell. They're tripping. My family is just plain funny as hell. And I think that's where a lot of my comedy comes, it was a lot of my skits and a lot of my thoughts that pop out of my head. But that's where my mom and dad, I was taught, just have fun and go crazy and all that stuff. As long as they don't break the law or anything, But, yeah, I'm going to get up in here. I just want to share a little bit of, like, my childhood memories. As far as, like, my dad and my mom. Alright, later.